Here to take your cash and we gone. Then we gotta take it back home. Everybody swear that we wrong. Yeah, Lame that they wanna come get it. The whole crew low, then we with it. Yeah, we on your head like a fitted. Here to take your cash and we gone. Then we gotta take it back home. Everybody swear that we wrong. Lame that they wanna come get it. The whole crew low, then we with it. Yeah, we on your head like a fitted.
Now they say your boy hot-blooded, but they don't even know my blood type. Might come through your hood and take your money with my trusty chain pipe. I'm petty enough to throw a coin or two, cause I got a few to spare. Now I have to fly over them haters so they know I'm here. I'm headed to Odin Castle just to go save the princess. Now you know I ain't no Mario, so chill with your obvious type suspicions. See, I might even go super on these haters, but see, I ain't no saying. So you know I'm here to take from y'all rich boys. It ain't no debating. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. That you were not promised today or tomorrow, so I'm truly here to live my life without all of that reckless drama. That's why I rock out to my very last day like I was Nirvana. Now it's back to the movement, now I'm doing for the realm, so there's no confusion. See, there's no losing, I'm just doing it for my people. You're the one straight out of Edo Village, cause I know the rich are so deceitful. That's how it's been from the jump, so don't ever think I tried to flip. Ain't no illusions to this game, boy. Y'all already know the script.
Here to take your cash and we gone. Then we gotta take it back home. Everybody swear that we wrong. Lame that they wanna come get it. The whole crew low, then we with it. Yeah, we on your head like a fitted. Here to take your cash and we gone. Then we gotta take it back home. Everybody swear that we wrong. Lame that they wanna come get it. The whole crew low, then we with it.
We are back. We are back. We are back. Got another one. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is another Saturday. And man, we're almost at April. We're about to be 4 months in. That is so crazy. We are about to be 4 months in into 2024. Already like 2 months shy of being halfway through 2024. Real quickly here, what's What's up, Brand Smith? I see my moderators coming through as usual. What up, Brand Smith? What up, Trinell? Appreciate y'all coming through as usual. Andre here, showing love. We got Triple M. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for coming through. Hey, it's RJ, man. I really appreciate you coming through, bro. It's been a little bit, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So, and Nightwolf shows up like right on time. Appreciate you coming through, Nightwolf. Appreciate you coming through. We got the usual. Well, not the usual because Vito's not here, but we got the main man to the left or to the right of me, I guess. Y'all right. He's actually on my left, or I'm mirrored, whatever. Jay, Wingin IT Podcast host. How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing all right. How's everybody doing tonight?
I am doing great. So this is actually a mashup. We got a mashup of the Stormcast and the Wingin IT Podcast because tomorrow is, well, most people call it Easter. I call it Resurrection Sunday, but that's what it is tomorrow. So we weren't going to have the normal podcast that we were normally going to have. So we decided to go ahead and mash it up tonight and have both of the topics. Real quickly, before we get into some of our topics here, we'll just do the norm. We'll just do the norm because we're kind of walking into a little bit of a different podcast. So, as usual, Jay, what have you been playing lately?
To be honest, so I started going back through my backlog a little bit because I'm trying to play one game that's current and a backlog game because that's how big my backlog is.
Mm-hmm.
So about to finish up Princess Peach. Jump back into Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles.
Ooh.
Because I remember buying it when it was on sale.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I'm like, why have I never played this? So I've been playing that. The Shaolin versus Wu-Tang game. The first one came out it's out on Steam, but the first one came out on Switch. The second one is out on Xbox and PS5. So I picked it up on the Xbox Series X. I've been playing that, as well as Tekken 8 and Harry Potter.
Okay.
So that's all I've been playing.
Have you finished? You haven't finished Harry Potter yet, have you?
No, because I've been taking my time. I done got to a point now where if it's like a open world game, I don't even try to rush no more.
I feel that. And that game I feel like that game's not really meant to be rushed. It's really to take in all the novelties that you can. So
yeah, because you'll miss something if you don't. So,
yeah.
That's one reason. That's one of the reasons why it takes so long for me to get through Tears of the Kingdom, because I'm like, I'm not gonna rush this. I refuse to rush this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably one of those games like Tears of the Kingdom is also one of those games where it's just like, you know what? This will probably get beat sometime either at the end of the year or it could even slip into next year.
Like it'll get beat when it get beat.
Yeah. But I'm like really in no rush to beat it and really not feeling like I'm missing out by trying to beat it fast, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's see here. What up, Dark Boy? Appreciate you. He said he couldn't stay long. About to board the flight. Okay. I mean, and that's perfect because whenever you get off the flight, if you got a little ride to go before you kind of settle in or whatever, perfect cast to just sit down and listen, man. Perfect cast. You already know the deal. Let's see. RJ said, if it actually come up, there we go. Been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Princess Peach Showtime, and Unicorn Overlord. I can tell you that Andre has been playing the mess out of Unicorn.
Yeah, dude. He's been going in.
Yeah. Here we go. He said, I've been playing Unicorn Overlord, and I finally got my fake girl. Oh, okay. She had a normal fight, and then a possessed boss fight for me to get. Wow. Yeah. Hey. Man, if we could have some, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Trying to get canceled already.
Brandon Smith said, I started Mario Rabbids Spark of Hope. Okay, Amazon had Okay, for $20, can pass it up. I definitely wouldn't be able to either if I had that money like that. Andre said the boss fight was vicious too. Yeah, so for me, I actually got back into Zelda again, back into Tears of the Kingdom. It's funny how sometimes you miss a beat. Like when you get back in, you be like, dang, what was it? How do you do that again? And then other times it just feel like you never left in the first place. You just like, all right, I'm cruising again, making stuff happen. So I finally got out of the Korok Forest, and I decided I was gonna move to other places. Check some of the what are those called? The tier pieces.
The actual tiers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was gonna try and find more of those or whatever. I really should be finishing one of the dungeons, but I'm just like, I'll wait. I want to learn a little more on what this section is doing. Like, what are they doing with this section? So, really been sticking to that and messing around with that, and I find myself not being as sidetracked as I used to be. Playing Tears of the Kingdom, I don't know if that's because, like, with Breath of the Wild, I'm real fleshed in with like, okay, I know the general map, so I don't have to really go off and be like, okay, what's new anymore. It's like, okay, I got an agenda now. This is where I'm gonna go. This is what I'm gonna do. I may veer off a little bit to collect something, or think something may show up, a Karak seed or something like that. But outside of that, like, my moves have been starting to be a little straightforward as of lately. So been playing that. I've had the mindset like you have. You said you got one like newer game, or current game, and then one game of the past. Playing Legends of Dragoon, I was playing that like faithfully almost every day. To the point where I was feeling bad that I wasn't really playing current games. And up until the point where I was having to deal with this last boss and realizing that the last three bosses that I fought, you can't really use the Dragoon spirits, which is like the whole purpose of the game anyway. Or the game will freeze on you, or it'll soft lock. And the last time I did that, I was just like, man, is this really worth it, going through every single one of these bosses and having the sweetest powers and not being able to use it and making the game extra tough? I don't know if it is. So I think I'm going to just move back over and go back into playing more Parasite Eve, but I have to like really push myself to do that. Once I push myself to do that, I'll be in it. The last game that I played is Diablo. Yeah, I haven't heard me talk about Skull and Bones lately, have you? I haven't really picked it up. It's not that the game is bad or it's boring. It's just like Starfield to me, where there's a whole lot of micromanaging your inventory before you go out and do something. And that
sucks.
Yeah, it requires more time than the regular amount of time that I may have or don't have to be able to play a game. So instead of doing that, like, I'll just hop on Diablo and run through a dungeon real quick or something like that. Fast scroll over all the items, see if that number says negative or positive in my armor build, and if it's negative, like, it gets scrapped, and then I just move on. So it's just so much easier to micromanage all your little things, and but by this time your powers aren't going to change. You really kind of figured out your set. So that's just really what I've been doing. If it's not Zelda as of lately, it's been Diablo, depending on how much time I have. RJ said, yeah, gotta level my squad to 40 to get high. Oh, I have played something else, but I'll get to it in a second. RJ said, Andre said, if you have the right equipment, you can gear her with level 30. Oh, so you guys are going back and forth about Unicorn Overlord. The other game that I played, and I asked my cousin this, and I was going to ask you too, Jay, but like as far as like familiarity, I know like he's played like every single one of them. But I saw last week on the eShop that Tales of Vespera was on there for I think like $10. And so I messaged him. I was like, Tales of Vespera, the remake, HD,
Get it?
buy or not? And he was
Yes.
like, yeah.
Yes. Like, yes. Like, dude, look, the Tales of games, when it comes to me, I've played pretty much the majority of them, except for the ones that didn't come to the States. There was a couple DS ones that didn't come. The Tales of Graces, the Wii version didn't come, but I did play Tales of Graces F, which is actually one of my favorites. It's in my top 5. But Vesperia is actually pretty good. My only problem with Vesperia was the last 10 hours of the game, because it's like you beat a certain character, and you're like, oh cool, I beat the game. No, there's another villain you have to fight, and you're like, but that dude's not the villain. The guy I beat 10 hours earlier was the villain. That's my only problem with Vesperia.
Okay.
Other than that, but yeah, that's a good game. It's a really good game.
Okay. I've started and I've probably played maybe like 5 hours of it. What up, Jay? Appreciate you coming through, bro. And you came at the perfect time. But I must have downloaded some of the like free extra content. And the first, when you're in the jail, is it the jail? Right when you come out of the prison and there's a bunch of guards. So I'm like, okay, here's the opportunity for me to level up real quick. Maybe I get like a level or maybe 2 levels up, and then I'll be good. As long as I keep riding out that wave. That's usually how I play my RPGs.
Okay.
Well, as I'm playing, every time I go to attack, it's like new skill learn, new skill learn, new skill learn. And I'm like, wait a minute.
At the beginning of the game, you're gonna get that.
And so like I look and I'm looking down and I'm like, how did my characters become level 45? What happened here?
Okay, you shouldn't be getting that level that fast.
Yeah, and I think it's because one of the items that I had from the free content must have been like like a quick.
You must got 10 times experience.
Yeah, because I'm like,
see, the 10 times experience thing in most Tales of games comes after you do your first run. Because like Xenoblade, they have like legendary monsters and stuff you can fight in most of these games, or if you go to a Coliseum, depending on the game, you get to fight past characters, and those past characters are going to stomp a mud hole in you. I don't care what your build is, you're gonna get this work. So
I'm like, dude. So like, I'm at the point. I'm outside of the castle. So I'm like, do I keep pressing on with these characters where I only have to hit the enemies once, or do I start this game over and not put in the content?
I mean, you can do that, but I will say this: once you get outside, there's some enemies you have the chance of running into that's like those super bosses.
Okay.
And
it'll make for an interesting battle. Okay.
Yeah, because you're not going to be able to do that, because especially if you don't have the correct accessories. You can be level 50 and they level 20, but they are super boss and you don't have aquamarine on.
Okay. Okay. I also thought, at least I remember with Symphonia, like Lloyd, a lot of his special attacks as you moved on, you could chain them so you can have them in combos. Yeah. But like right now, because everything dies with one hit, I'm like, man, what do I chain these moves with?
Well, there's a lot of stuff in that fighting in that because I forgot what they call that particular fight engine. But there's a lot of stuff that you can chain, like fatal strikes, but you got to set it up. You can't just like go in and chain it. You have to go in and actually set up your your weapons, because your weapons give you your moves. So you got to set all that stuff up to where you can keep it and then add it. So yeah, a lot of that stuff. Yeah, you probably if you mess around and put 10 times experience on at the beginning, you probably need to take that off.
Okay.
You probably need to take that off.
Because my whole team is 45, except for whatever, I forgot the dog's name. He's 46, and I'm
P.
just like, this.
I don't even like with P in that game because I don't like how they have him set up. I had to have somebody actually playing as him for that to work.
Yeah, it's just not as fun when you don't have a challenge and you like. I just feel like I'm playing on easy mode and going through the story.
Okay.
I don't like that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. It's easy. All right. Okay. Yeah. It's easy. Yeah.
RJ said Tales of Grace's F, Berseria, Zestiria, and especially Zillia are my favorites.
I like Zillia too, not the first one. For some reason.
It's so crazy they come up with these names, except for one of them. Isn't one of them like just Hearts or something like that?
Yeah.
Or
Tales of Innocence and Tales of Hearts was Japan.
Yeah.
One of them was on the DS and one of them was on the Vita or the PSP?
I think it was a PSP. I think it was a PSP.
Because the only thing they put out over here for Tales of Innocence was the fire ass theme that they had for it. It was the theme that they have like, I can't wait for this game to come out. I'm still waiting. So there's that.
Okay. What up, Vito? How you doing, man?
All right.
Vito locked in.
Vito got to look at his bracket just got busted. He's pissed off at 3 college teams right now.
Like, damn.
Nah, I'm good.
North Carolina, you mother.
All right. So what you been playing lately, Vito?
So last night I started playing Control, the Ultimate Edition.
Does it feel getting back into it?
You said what now?
I said, does it feel good get back into it?
No, it feels weird because I'm playing on Xbox. I played on PlayStation before.
Yeah.
So it's weird just kind of getting into it. But I kind of wanted to do it this way. I wanted to play it on Xbox since was it Quantum Break was on Xbox. So I kind of want to play the series is on Xbox, like kind of like basically meant to like, you know what I'm saying, like be together, like in the same series type thing. I want it to feel authentic. I don't want to feel like I'm going to different systems and stuff like that.
Right, like you continuing on with the actual story. Yeah, I feel
right. So I got Alan Wake on Xbox as well, so I'm gonna do that with Alan Wake 2. I think is Alan Wake 2 on Xbox yet?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I just kind of want to just do it like that. Just have it like one complete little series on one system. Just kind of just, you know what I'm saying, go all the way through like that. I mentioned I bought Splatoon. So I loaded it to my to my Switch. That's about it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I haven't actually got into it. Have you played Splatoon before?
Yeah. Remember, I had it on my Wii U. Remember, I was.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, but other than that, just trying to catch up on backlog. I think I mentioned that last week. Just trying to catch up on backlog. So I'll jump into like Assassin's Creed and I said I was playing No More Heroes 3. So that's pretty interesting.
Travis touchdown.
Yeah.
Hashtag Travis is smashing, not no doggone Wisu.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. It's my first little like
so you
game.
didn't play the first one? You didn't play the first two? Oh man, you missing out, man.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm missing
out, bro.
I figured I did because I'm like, as soon as I got into it, there was like characters and things, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, there's more to this than I definitely gotta see what's going on.
Well,
because like he was like his wife is like he was like trying to talk to his wife, and she was like the secretary of the, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's his wife. I was like, okay, I done missed a whole lifestyle. I done missed a whole lifetime.
The first two games, when you finally realize what the game is really about, you're gonna laugh. Because it caught all of us off guard when you realize what the game is really about.
Yeah.
Because at first you think it's about one thing, it is not. And I'll leave it at that. Like Suda has issues, man. Suda got issues, man.
So, okay. So, public service announcement before we move forward. Last week we did the best of for the generation. And we were playing that last week. And we are still going to play that. Don't get me wrong. Man, my nose always itches when I'm on the
It's
show.
that metal you was talking about.
Right. We're still gonna play that, and we're just gonna move it to next week. We just had a conversation like this. I felt like this conversation needed to be had. If somebody wants to rub the lamp, I don't know if the cooldown for Shadow is in or not. I don't know how the cooldown works. I don't know what armor and equipment you put on and what abilities you attach to that, but we're going to talk about the PS5 Pro and, of course, some other things as well. So I wanted this conversation to happen first. But, yes, we are still playing the game. We are still going to have the game, and we are still going to pick a prize winner on that. But that's just – it's going to come next week. And, yes, I do still have the tally. It's right here, the tally of who was winning. So don't worry. I haven't forgot.
I got to make this call real quick. Hold on.
Okay. So before we get right into it, and actually, Vito just left. Jay, you had some topics that you wanted to talk about. I know one of them was. Two. Well, some, you know. I think you wanted to talk about the X-Men a little bit, getting kind of into the whole X-Men deal, right?
No, we did that last week.
Oh, okay.
We did that last week, so
okay. Well, go ahead with your topics, and then we'll just kind of let's do the winging it stuff first.
Okay, yeah, because mine's only two. So there was an article on Pure Xbox where there's a rumor of Microsoft apparently prototyping an Xbox handheld, to which I wanted to get y'all thoughts on it because I just find it to be hilarious that why everybody now want to do a handheld since Nintendo pretty much went out of the handheld business. Why did they want to do a handheld? Like, and the sad thing about it, because I have a coworker who went and got a ROG Ally.
Mm-hmm.
And he's loving it, but the battery only lasts an hour when he's playing like something like Call of Duty or Madden. I'm like, bruh, it's gonna be like that. Like Steam Deck got the same issue.
Yeah.
Like these new games or these AAA games, that's what power they're using.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't optimize this. They don't optimize those games at all. So I just found it funny because I'm like, first I think it's the rumor is untrue because why would Microsoft need to do that when ROG Ally exists?
Yeah, right.
It's a Microsoft one. Like they pretty much uses the Microsoft architecture. So I'm like, that really doesn't make sense at all. But I thought it was interesting considering the fact that Nintendo technically, because I know people want to classify the Switch as a handheld. You can't really classify it as a handheld. You can't really. Can you play it handheld? Yes, you can. You could also play. You could also play the Wii U like that.
Right, and it's not a handheld.
But I mean, I don't classify it as a handheld. I just say it's a hybrid. I don't classify it as a handheld only. So I just thought it was interesting coming from the gaming community. Like, okay, why would they need to do that? One, and two, there's really no point. if
Right.
you see Microsoft, if you see Steam Deck having a problem, and you see ROG Ally having a problem, how you gonna make that battery life that much better?
Right. I'd say even too. Hold on. Let me read off some of these comments before I get my opinion. Andre said, I said they should have done it like 2 years ago. The games aren't optimized for handheld machines right now. RJ said people want the things Nintendo is doing, but they don't want it from Nintendo themselves. I know that's crazy, right? That's absolutely amazing. Amazing, huh? Amazing. Nightward said, how would they be able to fit the power of an Xbox Series X into a handheld? Well, here's the thing. It would be a handheld, but it would sit under your TV only, and you can't move it, and it doesn't attach to the TV in any kind of way, but it still has controllers on the side. So it's like imagine an Xbox Series X, but it has controllers on the side. There you go.
It's an Xbox Series P.
Congratulations. You played yourself. So thinking about this, man, and I think we've said this earlier too, is that it's crazy when we come around to an evolutionary system from Nintendo, which is every other system, right? Yeah. Every other console at this point. And it's so wildly innovative that regardless if you tried to see it coming and you tried to set up for it, like the whole industry tries to follow that suit, right? And it's like both Sony and Microsoft were kind of wildly this time around. We're so wildly different where before, you think of the Wii, they were like, oh, okay, well, it was all in the controller. So like, let's just figure out some workaround around that. PlayStation had the Move, right? Yeah, Move, and Xbox had Xbox had Move, right? What was Xbox?
Xbox had Kinect.
Kinect, thank you. Yeah. Xbox had Kinect. So it was just like, okay, if we add a peripheral, we can make this stuff work, right? But even going back to the N64 and the whole controller for PlayStation, it was just like, okay, well, we just need to add analog sticks and we're all set. So it's been that way up until the Switch, and the Switch is just a wildly different piece at this point. And so now you have all these PC companies, like this kind of feels more like the direction that we should be going. Not still throwing necessarily the power at it, but trying to figure out how we can make it more, what's the word I'm looking for? Not ergonomical, but more efficient. And a smaller form factor. So we don't necessarily need to raise up or bump up the specs. We don't necessarily need to have 4K if the screen is going to be small. We just need to make sure that we can have that battery life, like you said, and be able to have some constants with like frame rate and stuff like that in these smaller form factors. And Sony and Microsoft have been like power, and now they're looking back. when like what's a perfect show, like The Little Rascals. You remember the Little Rascals movie when it was just Alfalfa and Stymie and the other two, the bully, and then like Darla and her boyfriend, and they so far ahead of everybody that they think that they going this way, but then the dude runs up and is like, wait a minute, that's not the course, go this way, and then so everybody else is going that way. Like that's Sony and Microsoft, and then they got to look back and be like, wait a minute, wait, I thought this was the way, we was paving the way this way, where y'all going? And so go ahead.
The sad thing about it is they've been told on multiple occasions, like Yamauchi said it,
Mhm.
You ought to said it on multiple occasions. That ain't gonna sustain. You can't sustain that trying to catch power, trying to chase power, and
Mhm.
trying to chase like the movies.
Yeah.
That you couldn't do it. You stop being a game, and we're seeing that real time. And the problem is they convinced their fan bases that only this is how you game. That's why I don't like Digital Foundry. Nobody gave a damn about frame rates until them.
They started
Unless it was
talking about
bad. Unless it was
Yeah.
like bad to the point where you can literally see. And I hate when people say, I don't understand why people can't tell between 30 frames a second and 60 frames a second. And I always ask them this question: is Witcher 3 60 frames a second?
Right.
It's not. It fluctuates between 58 and 45.
Mm-hmm.
But you say that's 60 frames a second, and you can tell with your naked eye. No, you can't. No, you can't.
Right.
And if it was really that serious, you're gaming on PC, you're not gaming on console.
Right.
But you don't want to do all that work on the PC to get it to do that, to get it to play consistently like that. You ain't trying to do all that. You ain't trying to go do all them damn updates. You ain't trying to do that. You just want to plug and play.
Right.
So stop acting like you can see it when you can't. Like they led their audience to that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the main reason why we had this PS5 Pro rumor going around is because somebody wants Sony to have the most powerful console on the market. Sony, I don't believe Sony's going to do that because Sony right now is like, we need to make money.
Right. Right. And that's foolish, man. That's foolish. So I think too, so, you know, when you're talking about that handheld, like, could I see Microsoft doing something silly like that? Yes, absolutely. Because they are definitely the types like, we'll throw money at it because we have the money to throw at it. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, oh well. And we still got Game Pass.
Yeah.
But do I see them actually doing something like that? No, I don't. And like I said, just even credit off of, you know, the way the industry is going. I think Microsoft, more so than Sony, Microsoft will just try and ride this out.
Well, they got the way to do it.
Yeah. I feel like they kind of did the same thing ish in the last generation with the Xbox One, and then finally was like, you know, we got the Xbox One X. But it, like, when it didn't work out for them, they were like, we're just gonna ride it out. Y'all were waiting for games in the 8th generation too. Don't think y'all wasn't. But
let's not pretend.
Yeah, this generation is kind of the same. Like, they start off, and if they ain't got a good running start, they like, crap. Well, we're gonna write it out. Wait until the next generation comes around. Sony is a little bit different though. And Sony, even the PlayStation 3 Sony is not the same as PlayStation 5 Sony. Like, PlayStation 3 Sony learned their mistakes real quickly within them first couple of years of trying to overcharge, and was like, ooh, let's reevaluate this. PlayStation 5 Sony, nah, they ain't learned nothing. They're the kings right now. I'm the champ. I come out with a PlayStation Portal, come out with a virtual reality 2, and you all gonna pay $1,500 for my.
Don't forget the headphones.
Oh, and the headphones, yeah, and the $1,500 for my system, and y'all gonna buy it, and y'all gonna like it.
And some idiots will they will die on that hill.
Yeah,
I'll be looking at them like, no, I'm not committing seppuku. I don't watch Shogun one too many times.
right.
So it's way too many episodes of Shogun. I can't be doing that.
And listen, I had this guy on Twitter. He was talking about how he was a Nintendo fan. He's like, trust me, I'm a Nintendo fan, but Sony blows Nintendo out of the water every single generation.
In what way? Question, because I don't
know
what way he's talking about.
See, we started and we were starting to talk about sales, and he was like, every generation Sony has beat Nintendo.
No,
I was like, Are you sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure the 7th generation Nintendo won pretty handedly.
Yeah, they mollywopped them. That's why they when they made move.
And he's like, "Nah, they beat them every." I'm like,
No, they didn't.
Sure about that though.
And on top of that, because their first 2 years they had to fix the HDMI cord melted.
Yep.
So like Xbox had the red ring, they had the HDMI. Because I remember I was in a GameStop and it was melting. We thought we were like, why does it smell like burnt plastic? And we looked at the back of the damn demo machine and it was melted. We had to unplug it and call the fire department.
Yeah,
I remember that. So
my motherboard melted too, so I had to buy a whole nother.
Yeah, so
I had the fatback boy, the big body gloss glaze baby,
which is one of the reasons why they had to go to that slimmer version that quick. They didn't want to do that; they had to. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Vito, I'm gonna get to you in a second. We're gonna bring up what we talked about. RJ said Microsoft and Sony lead their audience of the mindset, and now the audience is demanding it when the two are trying to. Yeah, right. Andre said, "Hold on, RJ, I could tell the difference. I just don't care." RJ, people need to realize even with a more powerful system, 60 frames at 4K is a very difficult thing for devs to do, and especially expensive when they don't have the time to mess around with that kind of time. You know what I'm saying?
And they have to, because it has to be consistent, and they don't. That's why, like, half these games, they have those. Like I said, I was getting those emails from Square Enix about Avengers.
Right. Risky Gumlar is what? Where? Who? Where? You have to give me what you're talking about, Jay. I just said the problem is now Jim Ryan, Sony has become way more arrogant. Now the president of Sony is like, yeah, let's rethink all of this. Yeah, the one with all the booty, that one. Yeah, she was sitting fat up under my TV, taking up five quarters of the, of the whole space. You know, I had to set the Wii on the bottom and the outside of the entertainment stand. She was so fat. So we're talking about Vito, the rumor of Microsoft wanting to make a handheld version for their line, pretty much, and how you felt about that. Jay said, Windows is or Windows. Ally, is it Ally ROG?
It's a Rogue Ally.
Yeah, they already have Windows running for that, so it kind of just didn't really make sense to have Microsoft make their own and then have another one where their own ecosystem is really running on a whole nother thing too.
Yeah, they missed the opportunity back with the 360 because there was something, I forgot what project it was, but there was something back then, I want to say like a rumor about them working on something similar because they had to connect around that time. And I feel like they were talking about a handheld because PSP was popping at that time.
Yeah, they were talking about that. You're absolutely right. They were.
Yeah.
But I just thought about it. I'm like, they don't have exclusives to do this.
Exactly.
No, they don't.
So right now, if they come out with something, it's just a Steam Deck or
or a ROG Ally, because that's basically what it'll be.
Yeah.
None of their games really, and even Sony's to a certain degree, really translate to like that kind of community. You know what I mean? Like I can't really imagine playing a Gears of War where I can just like set it down and then pick it back up a little bit later and then just like run like that. Like I'd be like, dang, where was I at? What was I doing? like who is this? You know what I mean? Like most of the games, when you think about Nintendo games, most of those games you can really just put down. Even like Zelda, like Zelda's open world and everything. Like you might be doing something and you can jump back in and you be like, dang, where was I at in this dungeon? Like what was I doing? But if you chose to, you could just walk away and be like, you know what, I'm about to do something else. Pokemon is set up. I mean, Pokemon came from the handheld era, so it's always been set up in a handheld tradition where you got that guidance and all that. Same with Mario's. It's just like that structure of gaming is just a whole lot different than Xbox. And some of the games that they really just show off. So thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. He was saying that Risky Gumlar, yeah. That was the person who, yeah, he was the one who was saying it. I was like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. I need evidence. Show me proof where Sony beat Nintendo in the 7th generation in sales. Please show me that, because your numbers ain't right.
Because that always brings back to the Vita. I'm like, dude, the Vita was an excellent system, and they just wouldn't support it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, you can't sit up and make PlayStation All Stars and then get mad that it wasn't better than Smash. Smash had like three gens on you, dude.
Yeah.
All you had to do was stick with it and make the game fun, but they didn't want to do that. They wanted we got our own version. I'm like, and you didn't put Cloud and Sephiroth in it.
Right. And real talk, if y'all want to be super real and y'all talk about mistakes and failures of a company, and y'all like to put the blast on the Wii U, please go see my co-host Trey Vito and ask him about that Sony. What was it called? The Sony, the TV, the dongle joint.
The PlayStation TV. Yeah, the PlayStation TV. Yeah. It was nothing but a Vita, I believe.
Yeah.
I literally had Borderlands, the Vita version. It came with it, I think.
Because I remember that TV show they tried to do with PlayStation TV.
I believe so.
Powers.
Yeah.
Was it Powers?
Powers. Yeah.
I'm like, bruh.
Didn't last too long.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I end up like, okay, well, first of all, it was nothing but a PS3 because it came with a PS3 controller, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was a PS3 stream. It was supposed to be a PS4 streamer, but it actually ended up being a PS3 streamer. But they kind of was ahead of their time. They just didn't know what they were doing because they had that PlayStation Now as like
the main thing.
Yeah, that's the main thing that you're going to be kind of messing with. That's almost the similar idea to Xbox Series S.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Is the main thing you're gonna be playing with that Series S is Game Pass. So they kind of had the right ideas, just the wrong bad timing.
Yeah, well, they didn't know what to do with it,
and they didn't. They had no desire to support it.
Yeah, no real confidence in it.
Because they were trying. Once again, Sony's biggest mistake was thinking they were Microsoft, and they had Microsoft money, and they could do what Microsoft do. Like, you don't have that money, bro. You just don't.
They be trying to run through that stuff. They'll buy everything we've sent to them.
And the sad thing about it was, I'm like, bro, y'all had JRPGs on, like, the Japanese RPGs. They had them on lock because they had Final Fantasy. They had deals to get Tails again. Now they had to share Tails. They didn't have to share Square.
Right.
They didn't. I mean, they had their own mascots. When it was Sony, Sega, and Nintendo, gaming thrived. When Microsoft came in and started, hey, Activision, blank check.
Right.
You gonna bring it here first?
I got this money.
No, I don't think you understand. You're gonna bring it here first.
All right.
So yeah. So I mean, well, RJ, I would say they have a bad habit of supporting stuff, but the problem with that is they have a Google habit of supporting stuff. And what I mean by that is they have a good thing, and then when they get tired of it, they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll get rid of it."
Yeah.
That's Google way of doing it.
Mhm.
And you can't do that when you have like electronics.
Right.
Because you need to, and really in gaming, you shouldn't be doing that because gaming is supposed to be evergreen. You're not supposed to get all your money within the first month. It's supposed to be over time anyway.
Mhm.
But the only people who seem to know that is Nintendo, and everybody else seem to pretend like they don't know that.
Yeah. Like nobody really learned a lesson from Sega, but it is what it is. Nobody learned that Sega lesson, but
it's sad that Sega the only people that learned that lesson.
Square, what up, Square? He says, "Up, everyone. Gonna have to catch a replay later. It's okay, man. We really appreciate you coming through. Either way, we really appreciate that." Jay said he is a troll, so I troll him every day on Twitter. Yeah, I won't say I necessarily get caught up in trolling, but I will feed the fire because I know somebody's gonna come behind me. Like I'm just a little shark, but I know somebody is gonna come behind me that's a much bigger shark and eat you alive. Like I know it's gonna happen. If I say the right words or I hit you with the right repost on you gonna get caught. You gonna get caught. I just said Sony also has a bad habit of not supporting things when it's not selling that well. Yeah, the Vita, PSVR, yep, and Toodle and Portal, yeah. Yeah, so I guess that kind of leads us into our next topic a little bit, since we're talking about curious cases. Wait, you had another one, didn't you?
Yeah, but we can go on from that. It was just a funny one.
Okay. Is the curious case of the PS5 Pro. So we got these supposed specs from supposed real sources that supposedly seen these specs and supposedly was told directly from Sony that supposedly it's going to be coming out this holiday, supposedly. And so what I found interesting is, and I don't know if this is a situation where even Digital Foundry is like we kind of gotta curb the enthusiasm before we get put in a weird position. But they did right. They had a whole video talking about the PS5 Pro, and kind of actually talking about similar expectations. Like the numbers and everything seem weird, but even if they were to be true, the actual performance of the system, while Sony says it's like 45%, is like, really, are you going to see all that on paper?
Well, I don't see the point because you ain't made your money back from the PS5 dropping.
Right.
True. So why are you going to do this for bragging rights? You finna lose even more money. Look,
right.
I know y'all re-up the Spider-Man deal with Marvel, so y'all praying that Tom Holland get another movie. But right. y'all ain't getting free money like that no more. So,
question. So we talking about the Pro right now. Didn't the Slim just come out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what, like when they're talking about the Pro, so it's like trying to do it like next year or something?
Well, no, the rumor is this holiday.
Yeah, but the problem with that is, if that's true, then they just screwed their whole base over.
Yeah, especially the ones who just got the Slim.
Yeah. And my thing is it one of those situations where they're saying it's a Pro, but it's really just
another new model?
Yeah, because remember they kept saying that with Switch, and then it was just OLED.
Yeah,
or it was just the light.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to be. That's why I'm like,
you know why they're probably calling it a Pro, right? Because it comes with a portal too. You know what I'm saying? So you can get that Wii U action.
Oh, the whole Wii U. You get man. I like that.
I thought we didn't like Wii U. I thought that system was horrible, and it was a abomination for gamers, but we want all their games. Now, even though they don't work the same because we need that gamepad.
The system sucks, but the
101.
games are great.
Yeah, Wonderful 101. How'd that working out for y'all? Zombie, how that worked out for y'all? And y'all claim y'all want Xenoblade Chronicles X?
Man, they want to die on that hill of Xenoblade Chronicles X. That's the crazy part. They want to die on trying to get that game.
And it's sad because like Takahashi, the head guy over at Monolith was like, if we do that, one, the game was not created for the Switch. It was created for the Wii U.
Right.
Two, it'll take time and money away from our projects we'd rather be working on. You wouldn't have got Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3 if they were trying to port Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Right.
You should have bought the Wii U when you had it. When you had the chance. You just should have. That's pretty much how I feel about it. You should have bought it when you had the chance instead of listening to everybody else.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, if we talking PS5 Pro, they were talking. So Digital Foundry was talking about these upgrades and all this other stuff, and how they were still using like the same architecture. Which I don't know why you would be surprised that they wouldn't move to something new, especially if they want to keep what fan base they have with the PS5. But
games out on PS4.
Right. They did the same thing with the PS4 Pro too. Like, I don't know why you would expect different, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But it's crazy to me, like you said, that we are talking about being in. Sony has already talked about being in the later half of the generation, and people are pushing so hard for that PS5 Pro. I almost feel like it's justice for how hard they were pushing the Switch Pro. But it's a little bit different because the scenario is different, right? So we're talking about the PS5 that sales-wise, Sony likes to say that they're pushing past their month by month or their week by week for the PS4. And I feel like every generation we go into, Sony is always like, this is the fastest selling console since the previous console, which is the fastest selling console since the previous
Brad Smith said PlayStation 4 Pro.
Right. Right. Triple Pro. So it's crazy to me to think that people want that so badly, but it's like, what are you really getting out of it? Like, what is if nothing is changing? Oh, and actually, let me see if I can find it because they actually said something. I was like, whoa, Digital Foundry, you actually said that? Like, that's kind of cute. That's kind of cute of y'all for actually saying something that we've been saying for the last forever. Because like when he said it, I was like, yeah, that's how we've been feeling this whole time. It was basically to the point of like, what do you really gain from having a Pro? And he was like, do you get 4K or graphics, to something that they already touted, like 4K graphics in the PS5?
Hold on. Oh, snap. Huh. All right.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, my computer is glitching out, bro.
Oh, that's okay.
It's been glitching out this whole time, so I'm my stuff is coming in slow.
Okay. I mean, that's straight because we can still. I mean, you good over here. You good on here. So, I said it straight because you're good over here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you ain't like stuttering or nothing like that. So basically what they said, I'm not gonna find it, but basically what they said is this time it was, I don't know, the British guy, Alex, the dude that I really like the least. And then some bald dude who's rarely
I thought you didn't like the I thought you didn't like the bald dude.
I mean, this is a different bald dude.
From Digital Foundry, right?
Yeah.
Hey, the one that was. Hold on, you got to bring it up like when they video.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it. I had the video up already. So this cat, he's not. Yeah, that cat.
Oh yeah, that's a different dude.
Yeah. It's not the same guy. That dude is rarely on. But basically what they said, I'm glad you came back at the perfect time, Jay. But basically they were saying that the PS5 Pro, the specs that they had weren't really that flattering. But then the ball,
because they're not real.
Then the ballhead dude said something that we've been saying for the last forever, which is like the one thing that has me the most perplexed is that the PlayStation 5 touted being this 4K 60 frames per second system, and yet we haven't really gotten the 4K 60 frames like we thought we would. And yeah, it also has like 8K also touted in there, but like what's so special about the PS5 Pro? Like, are we getting 4K graphics? Are we getting more 60? He's like, because with the bump and the compute performance and all this other stuff, it like you're not really getting better numbers off of that. And so I'm like, yeah, we've been talking about 4K your graphics for the last forever. You know, PS5 Pro having 4K your graphics just, it sounds crazy.
Here's the problem with this. Like, if you can't get the stuff to work when you said, because that's all this has been about. Mm-hmm. The last two gens have been Sony and Microsoft, Activision, Ubisoft, EA, all these big players saying, "Oh, this is where gaming is going. Mm-hmm. This is true innovation." And then you get an email from Square Enix saying, "Hey, look, man, if you want to play Avengers in 4K, you can, but it's going to be capped at 30 frames a second." Wait a minute, what you said at E3 was it would be 60 and 120. Yeah, I know what we said at E3, but did you see the hair? Did you see the hair? Right. We had other problems to worry about, right? So
the ray tracing was just astronomical.
That's the problem. Like, and I've said this on Twitter with a guy I usually converse with. I was like, dude, the last two gens have just been them lying. What they need to do is A, stop with my grand vision, and B, rein these dudes back. Like, dude, no, we're not spending $300 million on this. If you want to make a movie, sell that to Hollywood. Let them do it.
Right.
But you're not doing that here because we're not going to make our money back.
No.
We're not going to make our money back. So no, you're not doing it. But they won't do that. They'll be like, oh, well, the perfect case in point. Y'all remember when Gotham Knights first got talked about? Remember they did that whole 8-minute overview? Y'all remember that? It was like, what, 2019. 4 years before the game came out. 2019. And we was going to be couch co-op, 4-player online couch co-op. You're going to be having all these different missions. It plays the Bat Family. What happened?
You said City?
Yeah,
no.
Gotham Knights.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
Remember what happened 2 years later? Yeah, about 4-player. It's gonna be 2-player and it's gonna be online only.
Right.
Wait a minute, but y'all said this.
They pushed it back a couple of times too.
They're like, hold on, and we got to push it back.
Yeah, so I'm like, you can't even keep your own schedule of what you said you could do. Meanwhile, Nintendo don't tell you nothing about damn Tears of the Kingdom. This is DLC. They gave you a whole nother element, the depths they didn't even talk about.
Right.
At all. You saw them islands, and then swap it down, you know everything that's in Hyrule. No, you don't. No, you
They had
don't.
that little mission where it was like, yeah, such and such down there. We about to
Down
jump.
where?
We,
Yeah,
Down
down
where?
where?
We
down where?
we about to jump. We about
Down this well. No, why don't you go down this well?
Right.
You go down there.
As we
I've
go
been down there
down,
once before. I ain't going down there again.
look, as we go down, it gets darker and darker and
Yeah.
darker. You can't see. I don't even remember how we even hit the ground. How we touched the ground.
You had to pull out the paraglider.
Yeah, or you dead.
Okay, yeah.
Or you died.
Yeah.
But like, I'm trying to remember like how we even know where the ground was. That's what like
Oh no, you got down far
The
enough.
first
You were
time
like-
you didn't know. That first
Yeah.
time
that
you
first
just made it
time,
down
you
there.
like,
Oh, God's grace. The second time though, you took out them arrows, you had them bright.
Yeah, you got a
you were lighting it up.
you had when you knew you was outside that tunnel, you was like, dang, it's so dark down. Look, let me just stay right here until I find the landing spot.
then you get tired.
Yeah.
Ah!
Right.
So I'm sitting here, I'm looking and I'm sitting up there, but I'm like, we got one company that don't lie. They'll be like, look, this is how this game gonna run. We're gonna show you how it run. And you got you got 5 other companies that be like, yeah, see, you be able to do all this stuff. And when the time of the game release, you can't do half the stuff they promised.
Mhm.
And on top of that, you can't play, you have to play in performance mode or quality mode.
Right.
Like, wait a minute. So there's 2 different modes because y'all can't do what y'all said.
Man, that's the worst. Honestly, that was the worst quote unquote innovative thing that we got from this last generation, and that never needed to happen. Like, and the fact that it's in here and people tout it so strong, like, oh, if you want quality mode, if you want performance, how about you just give me the
What you
right?
promised. Or just
Yeah.
give me what you promised.
Yeah,
Or stop saying that you can do this 4K 60 frames a second mess. The only people who got it right was Ubisoft with Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. You want to know why? Because they used the Switch as the damn lead platform.
yeah.
Then once they figured that out, so it ain't that hard to do 4K 60 if we do that first.
Right.
A different art style, but the problem is you can't brag about that.
RJ said it big. I remember this. Last gen it was 720 versus 900 versus 1080. Now it's 30 versus 60. Less than 60 will make me sick. I'm like you, bro. You need a doctor appointment. Maybe have someone drive you there.
But
Something's wrong. Right?
the funny thing about anytime I hear somebody says that 60 frames, they can't play none of 60 frames, and then I'm like, hey man, what's your favorite movie? Oh man, I just went and watched Ghostbusters. That was in 24 frames a second.
Mhm.
You're fine. Stop lying.
Right.
That's what I tell
Nothing
people. Like the whole like 30 versus 60. Like, if you can't tell 30 versus 60, I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, I know what to tell you. You stop lying.
Yeah, and I would even say even the last gen with the 720 versus 900 versus 1080. I would say that wasn't even as big as how this 30 versus 60 is now.
30 versus 60 just got out of hand. This
Yeah.
just got out of hand. Because now people are claiming to be mutants at Xavier School for gifted youngsters.
Right.
I mean, because they can see stuff with their naked eyes. I'm like, But when you actually go start talking to them, like another example, Near Automata.
Mhm.
When it originally came out, wasn't it supposed to be 1080 60 frames a second? But
Right.
what did we just find out when it released for Switch? It was really 940 frames a second.
Mhm.
On those 2 more powerful systems. Miss me, dude. Like y'all, you can't tell.
Yeah. Jay said, let's blame Series S for it being only 2-player.
Yep. That whole Gotham Knight situation. Yep.
Yep. Yamamuchi and Wada looking down, feeling vindicated for sure for the power thing. They standing next to each other like, "I told you, I told you,
I told you too."
We said it, then they're just not listening."
Look at the idiots. Look at the idiots. Right here trying to chase that. Phil, stop copying what I just said.
Right. Right. I mean, usually like, you know what? I knew I should have bought them when I had the chance. I knew I should have put down the paper when I had the chance. Now look at them. Jay took what I wanted to type already. It's not what I want to say.
My bad.
Let's see. Andre said they can never achieve what they plan and always have to change it, which is disappointing. Or it never comes out. Looking at Ubisoft on Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh, it's coming out.
When all they had to do was just act, when all they had to do was just not let Michael Ansdale go and just have him write the damn story.
Yeah, it's amazing to me how many of these games, and we get it every time. And that's why I think that's probably why now more so I'm a lot more hesitant on picking up games, even the games that I'm like really, really looking forward to. Harry Potter was completely different because that was just like a franchise that we've been wanting forever. Yeah. So it was gonna get bought. But like if you heard me talk about Dragon's Dogma and how hyped I was to get that game up into this point, the game came out last Friday?
Last Friday.
And I have still yet to pick it up because I'm just like, I don't know.
Life be life.
I mean, life does life, but I'm
no, you've been hesitant about it?
Yeah, I've just been like, and I have a PC, so it's not like, all the problems, most of the problems are coming from the handheld, right?
From the handheld and the console version.
Yeah.
But I was looking at that and I'm like, they released it like that?
Yeah. That's why I'm hesitant about it. Because that usually translates to, you're going to find out at some point you got problems too. Like, it's going to happen to you too.
Yeah. It's going to be across the board. I think the thing with the PC version is people aren't saying, either they're not saying it or they're quietly getting overshadowed.
Right.
Because that's what happened with the with Mortal Kombat 1. When Mortal Kombat 1 had all them issues, what did everybody pull up? Steam Deck and Switch.
Right.
What they wasn't saying was it was happening on every PC, all the consoles that it was out on, all of them was getting patches and updates. I don't know why Warner Brothers did that, but that's Warner Brothers.
Andre said Capcom didn't. See, and that's the reason why. That's just the reason why I haven't picked it up. Like I'm still looking forward to the game, but chances are it's going to be like Arisen with me, and I'm gonna pick it up when it's cheaper. Like,
you mean in 2 months?
Right, exactly, right. It looks like a great game, but I can't pull that trigger on something. Now, Eiyuden Chronicles, I will have no problem picking up. Because if you messed up that game, I'm gonna need you to fire yourself at that point. Like you can't mess up. Yeah, it does. HD, 2D, like you can't mess that up. There's no way you should be messing that up at that point. But
and the HD 2D games have been on point.
Right.
So if they do that,
you played yourself.
Yeah.
You blew it.
You had one job.
I think that went until May and it'll be 20. Right. Exactly. But I was rooting for Dragon, so I'll wait until it comes to it. Yeah, that's kind of also the other reason why I kind of wanted to wait too. I do want it on my Switch. I originally played it on the PlayStation, but I'm still, even though PlayStation now has 4 exclusives, I think that as of right now aren't coming to PC. That's still not enough to make me be like, I'm about to buy a PlayStation 5. RJ said it's funny that no matter how many games that really does do the Switch justice, we just get something like Mortal Kombat 1. Everything is pointing to that, like the Switch needs to. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Harry Potter.
You notice that came from Warner Brothers.
Yeah, all of them are from Warner Brothers.
All the Warner Brothers has problems on the Switch. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yep.
Besides Lego.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, Lego's kind of jacked up. That's what's crazy. Actually, it played better on Xbox and PlayStation than it did on Switch.
Because I was like, some of that stuff got to be on purpose, man. Because you can't tell me you get like No More Heroes 3 and Metroid Prime Remastered in Doom, even the Doom game, the New Gods and all that
Mhm.
plays smooth. Yeah, it's at 30 frames a second,
Mhm.
but it's consistent.
Right.
So at some point, you got to stop. You got to stop believing the BS articles. You just
Right.
got to stop believing it, because anytime I hear somebody say, "Oh, well, it's just so severely so severely behind," I'm like, dude, any console that's created is behind.
Right.
If you really wanted that, you would game on PC only, and then you'll be broke
Right.
trying to keep up, because that hardware changes every 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say every less than a year, because even the graphics process. They're on the How did we start this generation off on the
4090s?
Yeah, like not even. We were on the 3080s, and then we quickly moved to the 3080 Ti. So that's the generation.
Yep.
Then we moved to the 40s,
Yep.
and now we're at the 4080 supers. Like,
Yep.
we're 4 generations in on some of these, and it's just like,
And we ain't even talking about the motherboards yet.
No. So we just like,
so
dang.
If that's what you really are about, then you would only game on PC. But once again, like I said at the beginning, most people that say stuff like that, they would never do all the updates and stuff they need to do to get these games to run out on those higher settings. And some of these games can't run on those higher settings.
Right.
They weren't designed to.
Right.
So
Ispaz came through. What's up, Ispaz? Appreciate you coming through, man. Real quick, I just want to throw this out. Just a side shout out. Go check Ispaz out. He's got his own channel, man. Go.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah, go subscribe. Go subscribe, man. He's got some good content. So yeah. Go check my man's out. Jay said it is the amount of work. Yeah. What did you just say? This part right here. This. Not all ports are done equally. Absolutely 110%. Like, not all these ports are being ported, not even by the same team. If you think about it, some of them ports get done by between Microsoft and Sony. That the main team will port that, and then they'll just find some offshoot person to port the other one. Because I think that was the same way with Harry Potter, was it not? It wasn't Avalanche who did that.
Nope, it was not.
So it's like dang. Y'all just not even trying to come up with the real equality between all these systems. You really just want the money. RJ said, I'll be waiting for Persona 3 Reloaded, Metaphor, Soul Hackers 2, Visions. I forgot about Visions of Mana, and I want that too.
And right now it's only coming out on Xbox and PS5, I think. Yeah, I don't even think they have a they have a PC port yet. I don't think.
No, there isn't. I think I looked that up to see if I could put it on my
I think it's probably going to get one probably around whenever the Nintendo successor console, because there's no way in the world Visions of Mana is not going to be on that.
Most of the Mana games, especially as of lately, they always show up on.
Yeah, because they're not trying to miss that. They go broke if they don't do that.
Right.
Like, look, I know a lot of us don't like Sean Layden, but he wasn't lying when he said, like, dude, you can't stay money like that because these games cost too much. You got to put it everywhere.
Yeah, Visions of Mana is on Steam for you to put on your wish list. Yeah,
because I didn't see it when they did not the reveal trailer, but the trailer they did a couple weeks ago.
It just don't have a price for it. That's all, and it just says release in 2024. That's
because I know it got summer for Xbox. It had summer because I might go on to just pick it up on Xbox. Because I do want to play it because it looks dope.
Yeah.
And I love the Trials of Mana.
Yeah, I love Trials of Mana 1 and 2. So yeah. We're definitely gonna be checking that out a little bit later. So I guess kind of to slide into that same realm of the curious case of Crying Jim Ryan. Um,
The man
and I don't
single-handedly almost killed Sony
right.
by not shutting up.
And I know, I know you caught it, Jay, but everybody lately has been talking about the fun piece of him before he walks out. It's like, oh, and by the way, PlayStation 2 at 160 million.
And I started laughing. I'm like, bro, you can't do that, bro. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. You can't just make up a number because Nintendo's gonna pass it by the end of the year.
Right.
They're on pace to, because all they're gonna do is, because I got a sneaking suspicion Metroid Prime 2 and 3 gonna get shadow drop and 4 is gonna get a release date.
Yeah.
Why do I have a sneaking suspicion that's gonna happen?
I feel like it is. I feel like a couple, like they'll shadow drop Metroid 2 and 3, and then you gonna get the release date of Metroid Prime 4, like you said.
Yeah.
But I feel like they also gonna be like, oh, and by the way, here's another crazy something that y'all been waiting for, like Donkey Kong or something like that.
Yeah.
You be like, oh.
Because remember, like people forget, like Astral Chain, we found out about Astral Chain at that E3. It was out in August.
Yeah.
Like it was literally
a month later.
and a half.
Yeah, a month and a half later. Yeah.
Like, bruh, so they could do that at will because they're not telling nobody nothing. People are mad that they're not telling anybody nothing, but they're like, bro, you ain't played half the games you got now.
Right.
Play what you got.
Jay, where those extra PS2 sales come from? So the claim is that the extra sales come from them actually still making sales off the PS2 all the way up until 2013. The irony in that is most, if not all, companies stop really
Counting
postings. Yeah, they don't really. Yeah, they still have to account for those sales when it comes to financials and stuff like that, but they don't count those sales when another system comes around and is prominent, and they're like, okay, we're done with this system. Yeah, so I don't, Jim Ryan, man.
I think the thing is like yeah, Sony's consoles have been on a 10-year cycle every generation. You just don't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was 2013 when the last game for it came out, but they had probably stopped counting 2010, 2011.
Yeah,
they had probably stopped counting because you have to account for it as far as bookkeeping is concerned, but that's not going to be on those reports,
right?
That those shareholders see, because they ain't gonna care.
Yeah,
like they're not gonna care.
Yeah, like we hit it didn't even matter if they hit 200 million at that point when the PlayStation 3 is out, and shareholders are gonna be like, okay, that's a great number. That's great that you sold, the PlayStation 2 for $67 and you hit 200,000, but like, where's the PlayStation 4 that you selling for $299, $399? Like that. I'm trying to see that money. Where is that at?
I'm not trying to see no $60 PS2 money. I ain't trying to see that.
Yeah,
because that's what they were selling for. They weren't selling. It's not like they're selling a lot, because Dreamcast was selling until 2010ers in Japan. Mm-hmm. They were not. I can promise you, they weren't selling for 300.
Right,
it would be the equivalent of 300. I can promise you, they weren't.
Yeah. Let me go back. Paz, what did you say? Because Nintendo knows that once they and the first party studios do get to that high level of fidelity, it's pretty much over. Nintendo, Microsoft, Retro. Now, yeah, and that's I think that's something that a lot of people are like, especially people who are not in the Nintendo camp. You hear them say often, like, can you imagine, like, to justify Nintendo needing to have that power? Can you imagine a Monolith Soft, a Xenoblade Chronicles game, like, on the PS4? I've heard that so many times.
And I laugh because they're on PS2.
Right, like, like, oh, how powerful, how great the graphics would look if they actually just gave them that kind of power. Have you ever have you ever known a dog or any kind of animal, if you gave them, let's say a dog, have you ever known a dog to have an open amount of land with anything that it eats, what it will do? Like, that dog can get fat and do nothing. Like, you have to gradually and maintain these companies and linearly push them and give them envelopes to accomplish. Now that was the whole problem. That was the whole problem of moving generation to generation. To me, what it seems like with third party companies and like Sony and Microsoft is like, hey, we're giving you exponentially more power every generation, and like all the stuff that you envision that you can do, like now you can do it. You have all the means to do it,
and they still can't do it.
and they can't do it. So this is a perfect example for me, at least. So y'all know I make music, I produce music and everything. The one thing, my innovation, my no, not innovation. That's not what I want to say. My am, what's the word I'm looking for? Imagination. My imagination when it came to music was always that like I could do something way greater than what I was doing when I had my program as just a demo. Like, because it was a demo, because I couldn't save all my stuff, I would have to leave my computer running. And I would have to do this and that to be able to work around those ways to be able to innovate. And I could only go so far because like I couldn't save. Certain programs didn't work as a demo. And so I've always told myself, like, if I had the program, the full version of this program, like I would be sweet. Like my music would be way better. So I eventually got the program, and it allowed me to be a little bit better. But because I could save whenever I wanted to, the need or the push to try and get those songs done wasn't as strong. So it was like, okay, well, like I just need better sounds to be able to be better. And eventually I found a program that had better sounds, real life instruments. And once I got that, like, I was like, okay, I'm going to be good now. I'm going to have better sounds. Like my beats are going to be sweet. Turns out I needed some more stuff with my computer. I needed a more powerful computer. So I was like, okay, well, when I have that, I'm going to be sweet. Once I got a more powerful computer and I had everything at my disposal, I can save whenever I want to. I have the right music. I have the more powerful computer. You know what happened? Nothing. Because I like the push to want to be innovative or to come up with ideas and workarounds was no longer there. Like I had an open book to be able to start a journey, and because I didn't have any opposition, it was just like, I could just keep doing the same stuff that I'm doing because I feel no pressure. And that's to me, that's how game developers are now. It's like, oh, we've got all this power, and we've heard it over the generations, right? Like, oh, we need more RAM. We need more powerful hardware. We need more memory. We need more this. We need more that. We need the SSD to be able to do this. But now all those things are in play,
and you still can't do it.
And you still can't do it. So the real question is now, is it because of what you were asking for, or is it really because the innovation that you thought you had wasn't really there?
Well, another thing I think that when we started talking about Nintendo getting into the high fidelity race, they're never going to do that. They did that in the 6th gen, and people made excuses. They've already played that game once. They ain't finna play that game again. They're gonna sit. They're gonna do what people like to make fun of them for doing, but they're gonna sit in their corner and make this money.
Yeah.
Like the sad thing about the Wii U was, and you can believe this if you want to or not, but Western gaming media did everything in their power to try to get rid of them. Because the whole thing, if people actually think about it and go back, the whole thing was they wanted Nintendo to go third party.
Right.
They kept trying to make it seem like Nintendo had no money. And I'm like, Nintendo has like 12 billion in cash. Just we ain't talking about assets, just straight up cash. And it was even more than that because all they had to do was sell one Wii U in one game and they made a profit. Who else was doing that?
Right.
Nobody else was doing that.
And they got and that's like you said, that's not money that's money that they can lose and still afford to be good as a company. And that's not the money that they gotta owe somebody to pay.
And once again, the only thing that I think really was an actual loss for them was the Virtual Boy. Everything else they made a profit off of.
Mm-hmm.
So saying that they're going the way of Sega, they were trying to push the narrative of, we need them to go third party. When you have people like Jason Rubin sitting there talking about, hey, I shouldn't have to buy my kids a Wii U, they should just be able to play Nintendo games on every. No, dude, no. And then Jeff Keighley don't even say nothing. Don't even say anything back. He's just like, no, dude, no. Like, and we see what Game Trailers is right now, right?
Right. Yeah, they're not doing so hot.
IGN still pissed at Nintendo because they stopped doing E3 well, and they started doing their own directs. Well, bruh, you part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You probably part of the problem because if y'all would have translated right, y'all probably wouldn't have got mad. But why they got tired of that mess? So he took matters to his own hands and effectively, pretty much destroyed gaming media at the same time and did it with a smile on his face.
Right. Please, with the
please understand.
Yeah.
The news directly to you.
Every time.
And then Treehouse Live at E3. How you gonna have something that, excuse my French, just shitted on the competition? Because can't nobody say what the game plays like. The game, you see a person playing the game, you see the gameplay right there, you see the developer sitting there telling you what's happening, and you see in the translator.
It's all live.
Bruh, Marvel's Avengers, Square Enix does Marvel's Avengers the night before the Treehouse Live. The first game was not supposed to be in Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Marvel's Alliance got pushed to the front. And it's just like, we about to make bank.
That boy was like, watch this.
Yep.
Oh, y'all like that game? Oh, okay.
And just so y'all know, we got this other game. I know y'all been complaining us, like screaming at us about Bayonetta 3. Here's the actual change.
Right.
Oh, we forgot about Bayonetta. What y'all forgot about Bayonetta? Y'all don't care about Bayonetta no more? Is that what we doing? Is that what's hot in the streets?
Right.
So yeah, I think that's why I'm like, dude, they're never going to play that game again. Because all that's gonna happen is people gonna make up another excuse. They already had it. The GameCube was more powerful than the PS2. It was a little bit under OG Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And people made excuses. They're never gonna play that game again.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, the GameCube controller is one of the best controllers I ever used.
Man. And ironically, the only one that's analog that Nintendo ever did.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild. What up, FL21? I see you. Appreciate you coming through, bro. Let me go back here. Let me cut some of these. The problem being that they can't complain about graphics. They're gonna have to find another. Yeah, that's the worst part. That's the worst part. They really gonna have to try and find something else. People are more creative when they actually have little work. Yeah. Because you gotta find.
They have time.
Yeah. You get that pressure in you. Some people think that Nintendo has to get into graphics race, but they are playing smart because we all know what happens behind the scenes of the gaming industry. Mass land. Yeah, and by the time and I would say this even too, by the time that Nintendo gets to the PlayStation 5 graphics, if that's what you want to do, there'll be that graphic power will be like, I mean, unless the industry implodes on itself, which very well could happen,
Yeah.
Nintendo will be way
now.
behind. Nintendo will be behind the curve in that sense of how games look, but it would still match what they're aiming for, which will still be fine. Like I think that's the biggest takeaway is like, regardless if they sat on 720 between the next generation and the generation after that, as long as it matched what they were trying to aim for, wasn't nobody complaining about Mario. Nobody was complaining about Odyssey. Nobody was
People was
complaining
loving
about
Odyssey.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that was 1080p. It still wasn't in 4K. It wasn't even in 2K. Like, so as long as it matches what they're going for, they're still gonna be around.
And plus, don't Nintendo they play with different art styles, so it's not gonna be, you're not getting 100 super realistic games. You're probably gonna get 10.
Right. Right.
Because even Metroid ain't super realistic.
No,
it really ain't.
No, and like even Chronicles 3, like that art style, man, that art style was crazy.
Yeah, and that's cell shade.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
they don't like they'll push the power up for other things. It's not gonna be for what Sony or Microsoft pushes it for.
Right.
And to be fair, that's why they're able to make stuff that's not $300 million to make, and they can get their profit off of like a meal sold, as opposed to, man, we got to sell 20 million copies of these games, or we ain't gonna make profit, or we ain't even gonna break even.
Right.
Really? Because
like this needs to be, it's like every title now for everybody else has to be the holiday title, like the holiday equivalent. Like you sell it in February, it's got to make the holiday equivalent money. Like,
yeah, and that's not sustainable.
No.
That's why you can have like Astral Chain, what was it, 1.33 mil sold, and it's a massive profit. You can have Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, what is that one, like 1.4 million sold or something like that, and it's a massive, because they weren't even expecting to make that, so, and that's a massive success. But you got some of these games, they got to make 5-10 million. That's why they have to go on sale as soon as the first holiday happens.
Right.
They have to go on sale.
They got to get that boost.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy.
Nightwolf said, "I'm still laughing at the Western gaming." Yeah, G4, and I think somebody set it up earlier. It was either Trinell or Paz. Said something about G4 and them kind of running. And look what happened. Brand Smith said, "Facts. Long before the supposed Xbox tax, there was and still exists a Nintendo tax. Switch just made them shut up for a bit. Once the Switch 2 gets announced, they'll be back in full force." FL said, "While Sony and Microsoft and third parties ran themselves down to the ground, and it's going to be crazy too. Like I said, like the best move for all those third party people to make is like, if y'all quiet now, it should only be quiet because y'all gearing up to throw stuff out for the Switch 2. Like at this point, all of y'all seen the numbers of the original Switch, and if you couldn't come up with something for the original Switch, like you probably should be preparing for what Nintendo has next, because like you can't miss that bottle twice. I feel like this lightning in the bottle thing is going to happen twice with the Switch and the Switch 2. Like this, they still kind of are in, I wouldn't say kind of, they really are in that era where like the gaming industry has kind of shifted. So like for Nintendo, for their evolutionary console, like this was the right shift to make on that. Like, we already made good on this. Let's continue to push this and have a more solid piece with the Switch 2. So if you a third party company and you still Rockstar talking to you, if you still feeling like we just gonna EA, I'm talking to you too. We're just gonna sit back and see if this sells again. You're playing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You a fool at this point.
Bandai Namco.
Right. What's worse is Bandai was right there with them, helping them on projects. Like
that's how I be finding miss. Why you think I'm still mad about Dragon Ball Kakarot? I refuse to buy that game.
It's
really.
How are you gonna sit there and say, "Oh, this game will never be able to run on the Switch"?
And you were right there. Vito, I don't know if you know, but Namco co-helped make Smash Bros. That like,
so they can't say they don't have a kit.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, dude, miss me with that. That's why I was like, I will never buy Kakarot on anything. And I love Dragon Ball. I will never buy Kakarot on anything. Because how you gonna sit there and lie like that? And then once, what was it? 50 million got sold?
Yeah,
that's when it magically could run.
Yeah.
Man, miss me with that.
We didn't figure it out, guys. We didn't figure it out. We didn't figure out the secret sauce.
Got it. Right. Hold on. Watch this.
60 million sold. There you go.
Wasn't y'all saucing before? What happened? Where did the sauce magically show up? RJ said Wii U the most impressive for what it was and still is, man. No other console is really doing that. Not even now. Triple M, Dave Rubin could have said all those Sony and Microsoft games should be on Nintendo, so I don't have to buy other console. It goes both ways. Yeah, it definitely does. Dark Void, appreciate you coming back, man. See, look at that. He took a trip and he back. He said, and don't forget Adam Sessler there. So he was the one who said it. I was wrong. G4 that did after Wii U revealed Nintendo taught the whole gaming media lesson. I just want to see their faces. I just wish I could be in on that meeting with Reggie and Miyamoto and Iwata and like what that sounded like. Like did Reggie hit the table and was like, did these cats not? Did they? And
well, they lied. They flat out lied, and that's when because I want to say that was what 20. That was 2012.
Yeah.
And then 2013 was when it was like, all right, we cutting all of it. We just cutting all of it. And then I want to say the end of 2013, either the end of 2013 or beginning of 2014, that first direct.
Yeah.
And after that, it was over.
Yeah. Let's see. I think that's right from the point. I've been chatting on Wingin IT. Oh yeah. We can. No, you're fine. We can see it either way.
Either way. We see it.
Yeah. I remember the Tomb Raider reboot needing way too many sales to try and break even. Yeah, that one was crazy. I think that was probably one of the first ones I was like, "Yo, what's going on?"
Yeah, because they needed it was on because I think if I'm not mistaken with that one, wasn't that when the PC release came out later? Because that's one of the reasons why you got ported to PC so late because they were like they had to try to break.
They needed them sales. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely remember that. That was wild. Triple M said, yeah, sales at a loss to hit the quota, but still enough to make
a profit.
Yeah.
That's the secret sauce.
I understand why Square Enix was saying what they said about Western games not selling well for them. It's expensive. Square is the only one who don't need to talk. Like
they keep doing it. That's the problem. They keep doing it.
When they talk about Western games not selling well for them, what they really mean is our Western games sell good enough, but we just keep dumping everything, AMVs and movies and side merchandise
and anime.
Anime.
Because you got to pay for that too.
And like everything off for this one game that we had already spent 120 million on, but we're going to spend another 80 million to try and get this game jumping, and then it sells for us probably like 90, well, not even close, like 20 mil maybe 30 mil if on a good day, if it's one of the best games out of the series. And then we like, dang, well, we still short like 180 something mils. So they not selling really well for us. That's Square.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's how Square works. And so I just want the Japanese third parties to stop the BS and go full force. They want, yeah, Japanese especially. It just doesn't make sense to skip your hometown console, but I guess
they may now because they don't have a choice. Because a
Right.
lot of them lost so much money, they kind of don't have a choice. And plus, I don't think Sony's doing those stupid deals anymore since it kind of got outed that that's what they were doing.
Yeah, I think too. The environment there is different too. You know what I'm saying? Like, not they've always been a handheld first country anyway. So the fact that the Switch is a hybrid and capable of doing that, and now we've got other PCs and stuff like that doing it. Like, as a Japanese company, like that should probably be where your focus is right now. Is mainly that because yeah, sales matter for the overall globe, right? But if you good in your hometown, you ain't got to worry about your hometown. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're trying to make something for Americans and that don't work, well, now you just lost your hometown plus the Americans. You know what I'm saying? At least get right with your hometown, and then work your way as with the others, other countries and stuff like that. Triple M said Dragon Ball Fighter Z couldn't run on Switch either, Jay. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
but I got that as a birthday present, so I didn't buy that. Y'all thought I was tripping when I really didn't buy that. Like, I got it as a birthday present. Because I got a physical of that. I got it as a straight up birthday present.
Dang. Irony.
Oh, I'm about that life.
I only have Kakarot, but I don't have Fighter Z. And no, nobody bought that for me. And nobody's buying Kakarot for me either. So yeah, I'm kind of in the same pool. Like, y'all messed up. The only reason why I got Kakarot is because it looked like what I wanted Xenoverse to actually be like. But
now, don't get me wrong, there are some Bandai Namco games I've bought, like the Tales games.
Tales, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like Dragon, like stuff that they said could not run, and I'm sitting here looking at them like, y'all worked on Mario Kart and on freaking Smash, and you mean to tell me y'all don't got no dev kit? Man, get out of here with that.
Right.
Get out of here with that.
It can't run. But like, you know what? Well, I can't run playing it either. So my hands can't run pressing the start button on this game. So Capcom Year One, all those Remake Village, yeah, needs to be on Switch too. I agree. Oh man, if it's gonna be Street Fighter 6 though, it better be Street Fighter 6 Ultimate.
Ultimate Championship Turbo Edition.
Yeah, Turbo Edition. Yeah,
you gotta make it a lane that makes absolutely no sense.
You gotta get all the subtitles in it.
Yeah,
Turbo Edition. Wow.
Yeah. They used actual Dragon Balls for Kakarot to work on, right?
Probably did.
Right. Magic. They co-developed Smash, Mario Kart, Pokemon Snap, and a little with Splatoon and ARMS.
And now you see why I say it didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
But then as soon as they hit another sales milestone, hey, September, this is coming to the Switch. Wait, what?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, I thought
What happened was
yeah.
They
couldn't even. I think it was it Kakarot that was the one they couldn't even get. They couldn't even get the starting screen to run up.
Oh yeah, that was Kakarot. Allegedly, they could.
Yeah. Like, y'all wild.
That's all. Like, man, okay, y'all gave everybody Tekken 8. Why don't you give Nintendo people Tekken Tag or something? Y'all not doing that with Tekken Tag,
right?
And that way you get as ridiculous. Look, the Wii U version of Tekken Tag Tournament was crazy. You had poison mushrooms. You had freaking
you had
gold mushrooms. Like, that was crazy. That was halfway smash. They just ain't say nothing. There was halfway smash. They just wouldn't say nothing. But yeah, Tekken Tag Tournament on the Wii U was that game was crazy.
I was gonna say I got it, but unfortunately, it must still be in the Wii U. Because actually, that's probably the most fun that I've had with, well, definitely with the Tekken game, but at least with a fighting game that I had in a long time. Doing the mushrooms and man, they be splurting out fast, and then you be blah 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 blah.
That's what I say. I'm like, if you don't want to put the main game, fine, then just put something else.
Yeah,
You know, if you don't want, if Sony's crying about, Soul Calibur, okay, fine, then do a Legend of Zelda or a Fire Emblem game, but do it in the Soul Calibur style.
right.
Then they can't say nothing.
I would say this too. I like the numbered Tekkens, but I always feel like I like Tekken Tag more just because it allows me to play as two characters as one.
Well,
Yeah, I still think it's dumb that one character gets knocked out, you lose, but
yeah. Well, I think Tekken Tag they're more free to like have fun. Tekken is more like, okay, we gotta focus.
It's a serious game.
Yeah, Tekken Tag, they can do stupid stuff and people be all right with it.
That's why I like that Street Fighter Tekken.
Street Fighter Cross Tekken, yeah,
because it was a tag base on that as well, right?
They need to bring that back.
I think they will for 2. I think they will. Dark Voice said,
what if it's coming soon though?
What Tekken?
What would y'all feel? Yeah, no, Tekken and Capcom.
Tekken Cross.
Basically,
Cross,
doing some more.
Fighter?
Yeah, doing some more collabos or something like that.
Personally, I want Street Fighter X-Men, but that's just me.
That's a myth.
I would think that
feelings like that, man.
I would think that it would be coming too soon, especially with both of those games just coming out.
No, I ain't talking about like. Let's just say at the end of the year they announce something's in the works.
Like something in the works for that.
Like they're not showing nothing or nothing like that. But they just kind of announce something.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that.
2028. Gotcha.
Yeah. Right. Tentatively speaking, in the works.
They love doing that. They love dropping a full-on trailer for something they ain't even started yet.
Right.
So like, where'd you get the assets for this?
Listen. It'd be like coming 2039. Man, just our title director just walked in the office.
I mean, I always laugh when I hear when Sakurai tells the story of how what was it, Smash Brothers 4, when he was like, why it just came to me after we just got through and doing the Nintendo Championships at E3, it tells me that we got new games. I was like, what? like what in the world? That's messed up. That's messed up, dude. I love hearing that story. That was hilarious.
Dark Voice said, "Yeah, American Airlines really has some good Wi-Fi on there." Hey, get it. That's dope though. As a matter of fact, I think I remember the same. I always watch my phone on the airlines too. Unless I'm playing a game like the Switch. Unless Baby Sandstorm took my Switch, then I'm watching stuff. Even though she has her own Switch, but that's neither here nor there too. FL said, remember the event? Right. We just talked about that. Yeah. To be fair, Square Enix is an anime manga company that also makes games.
Still gotta pay for it.
Yeah.
Right.
You still gotta pay for it. Like every time they do an OVA, somebody get paid. They're not doing it pro bono.
Right. It ain't free.
Yeah.
Paz said Japanese third parties don't have a choice this time. They're gonna have to go on. Yeah, they definitely are. Triple M said it's ironic Square Enix is in this predicament with part of Final Fantasy VII around the corner, just like back in the day after the original Final Fantasy VII. I think what's even crazier is that as I hear Jay talking about it all the time, about how they've split it up into episodes, and then you have to pay basically full price for each of these episodes
and more.
This is them trying to balance out their balances. You know what I'm saying? Like, what game can we take that's the most well known that we know people are going to really want, and if we put in just the right amount of work to it, like, we can still sell it full price again, and a lot of people will buy it. Final Fantasy VII. Okay. Now, how do we make that and make people buy it again and again and again and again without them playing the whole game? Put in our episodes. Oh,
well,
okay.
I will say this. At the time they were probably doing this, that's back when Capcom was doing a lot of episodes. Remember Resident Evil Revelations 2? That was Asura's Wrath. They had episodes to it as well. Yeah. So I think back when they were doing that, that's when that came up. The problem that I have with Final Fantasy VII was they didn't set how many episodes it's going to be.
Right.
That's my problem. Plus, it's rumored that they're supposed to be remaking 8 and 9. Like,
don't do it in the same way.
Time out. Flag on the play. Yeah. Y'all doing 8 and 9, like, bro, y'all ain't even got this done yet.
Right. Finish your food.
Yeah. Like, now, the stuff that Team Asano is doing, like the Dragon Quest III remake, which is HD 2D, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be easy to pull off, and probably not even gonna cost you as much, because now the way they pull out HD 2D, it's pretty much they knocked what Live Alive, Project Triangle Strategy, and another one like damn near back to back.
Strategy 2 and you said Live Alive, yeah.
That was like damn near back to back. So I'm like, it's not like it's hard. I don't think it's as extensive to do Octopath. Those. Yeah, Octopath Traveler 2 is the other one. So you're like, dude, I don't think it's as extensive to do as something like the Final Fantasy VII stuff they're doing.
Right. I would have taken Final Fantasy VII in an HD remake all day, like that. But I guess
want to do that. But hey, it's all good. I mean, yeah.
If you want to lose money, that's fine. Since Lion Crying Diner, Jim Ryan has exposed the industry. A lot of those predatory deals will stop. Yeah.
All they had to do was be quiet.
Oh yeah, Jump Force couldn't run either. Yeah, I do remember that.
Jump Force. Ooh, boy.
Yeah, rough as it gets. All Bandai Namco had to say was, "I don't have a team working."
Yeah, that's all they had to say. That's all they had to say.
They couldn't do that. Yeah. It's Paz. I'm just waiting for Hunter x Hunter 2D fighting. I'm
surprised we don't got one.
Yeah, I am too. I really am too.
Yeah, because
that's a great show. I'm surprised we still have not yet gotten the rest of the show, even though it's supposed to be coming.
He was sick.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
sick.
Right. That's right.
They couldn't finish it. I think they're going to, but I don't know.
That's what they said. That they're planning on finishing it. So, which is great, because them ending off with going on the top of the tree was like, that's not gonna do it for me.
That ain't gonna cut it.
You talk about a whole world still being waiting to explore. That's not gonna do it for me. That's almost like Ichigo at the end of the original sets of Bleach, and then and you like, oh, he finally got his powers back, and they're like, yeah. So end of show. You like,
what the heck? No, it ain't. You're like, no, it's not. No, it's not. The hell you say? The compassion in this mug. We finna find out. You finna tell me something.
Pat said, I need Dino Crisis remake on 2. Yeah.
You know what? It doesn't surprise me with Capcom. It just don't surprise me.
Yeah, they gave you Dino Crisis remake.
Yes,
you was in a mech suit. You was in a mech suit fighting the dinos.
Yeah, Exo Primal.
Yeah. Street Fighter 6 Ultra. Hold on, Street Fighter 6 Ultra Portable Arcade Edition featuring Dante with Devil May Cry. Hey, give me the definitive edition of Ultra Street Fighter 4 with everything, the vanilla version of 4. Okay. Namco all of a sudden announced Ace Combat coming. Yeah, that one threw me off too.
That threw everybody off.
That threw me off.
But then I thought about it. They did have a version on the 3DS, but it had like the where you could use the amiibo.
The amiibos.
That's why I was like, are they gonna do that with this? Because they haven't said anything. But I'm like, if they do that with this, I might get that because, like, bro, ain't nothing as far as going in that Link F-14 and wrecking shop.
All I want is talk. Oh, please don't start this again, man. We talked about this for a long time.
Versus Capcom, boy.
A long time on the Joe podcast. House of Norfolk versus Capcom.
That game was so much fun, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and the online was really good.
People didn't know anything about half the characters.
Right.
I'm like, dude, you gotta watch Tatsunoko. The Tatsunoko company their anime is off the chain, man. People didn't believe that.
Nerfed all the Tekken characters. Yeah. Which is ironic because they should have nerfed the Street Fighter characters because most of them had the long range abilities. On the good news from Qualcomm is doing a good job putting the entire trial series. Yeah. Bandai ain't gonna do that themselves. Contradicts the Switch this weekend and the PS4 argument. Right. When they finish all the 7 remakes and start at 8 and 9, let me see. Man, I appreciate the comments, y'all. Y'all going crazy with the comments right now. This is the game that never ends and it goes on and on. It's saying, this is the game that never ends. Some people started development not knowing it was, and they just keep going on right. That's how I feel Ubisoft is like, okay, for sure, we are starting Skull and Bones. For sure. This week we're starting Skull and Bones. We're gonna get this done. We're gonna make this and we're gonna do this. And then the next week comes around and they're like, how much did y'all get done? Well, we put in a really good title screen. Okay. Next week, we're going to have a story and we're going to have some real gameplay done. And the next week comes around and they're like, so what did y'all do? Did y'all get that story and the gameplay done? No. So what did y'all get done? Well, we figured out how long it was going to take us to load into the game. Okay. So this week we're gonna work on gameplay. We're gonna have the gameplay done. It's like y'all slow walking every single move, and it's just like, and then the money is like, the stockholders are like, why did y'all say 33 and now we at 70 million still dumping into this game? Like, how far is this game? Well, we figured out where the hub is gonna be, so that's the good news. And we know we're going to have some shooting in it. So I would say we're pretty far. Yeah. So yeah, that's really how the industry is sometimes. And it's just like, man, y'all gotta be tighter with your schedules. If Nintendo can do it, anybody else can do it. Nightwolf or just say when we have no plans to bring that part too. We need Akuma to have a shown-off costume in Street Fighter 6 since he is a shown-off palace. Wow. Yeah. Didn't they just show that off like 2 weeks ago? Akuma?
Akuma? Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which Akuma is this? Is this like the ultra-powered Akuma?
I don't know. I just know he looks old as hell. He looks like he looks like his brother.
Oh, like Goken?
Yeah, he looks like Goken, except he's not bald. That's the only thing. You can tell he's old.
Mm-hmm.
So he finally looks like him.
They didn't show any like gameplay of him though.
Did he level up every Street Fighter? Like he wasn't the same. He was always stronger.
Yeah.
Lore wise, kind of. It kind of depends because. I don't think they have. I think at this point they put him in just because he's Akuma.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not because he actually makes sense to the story because he kind of don't anymore.
Right.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
Like he made more sense in Tekken 7 than he did in Street Fighter, the last couple Street Fighters.
Yeah.
He did. He made more sense than Tekken 7.
Yeah.
Especially how they played that
Yeah,
story out.
yeah.
He made way more sense in Tekken 7 than he did in the last couple Street Fighters.
Yeah.
Brand Smith said, it's why I don't believe the rumor of Capcom telling Nintendo to increase the RAM. They produce more excuses than the game. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, man.
Yeah.
They're like, we're going to give only 2 RAM. And they was like, how about 3? Okay, we can do 3. Where the game's at?
We're going to give you the cloud version.
Right. By the way, Triple M said the game about the girl with the humanoid pig in space. Oh yeah, what was the game? Yeah,
Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's still coming. It's retitled something.
Aren't they doing the 20th year anniversary soon?
it should be coming
Oh,
soon.
wow.
And
Yeah,
you know what?
it's a 20-year anniversary because I think they're releasing a I don't want to say it's a remaster, but it's an HD remake, upres or whatever of it for the anniversary because it kind of got slipped out and people started running with it and they was like they had to go on and say something because it's supposed to have been a surprise.
Yeah, it's crazy because once again it was the developer ambition. That was probably one of our, I think, Vito, like one of our hype games because they were talking about the character creation and talking different anthropomorphic animals that you can be, and the first thing I was thinking is, boy, I can't wait to make a street shark.
Well, no, I think my highlight was exactly what No Man's Skies did, where you can just take off from the ground and just go out into the atmosphere and stuff like that. I think that's what I was kind of like hyped up for. And then
I'd even say
I would
it was too like I would even say it was too like how they showed like the ship going inside the ship that went inside another ship, and he was like, "Dang, okay, I got 3 bangers. Like I got a whole."
Okay, yeah. Hold on, pull up. Did we have that? Did they scrub that?
It's still here. It's still here. I want to say. Let me see. Beyond Good and Evil True to gameplay. Yeah.
Yo, 27? That's crazy.
No, that's not that one. Dang, they might have.
They scrubbed that thing, didn't it?
Yeah, they might have.
We imagined it. It never happened.
No,
it never happened.
I was gonna say, man, there's no way they just hit that whole trailer because really the purpose of that trailer was actually about the engine that they had running for it.
Mm-hmm.
So
the Russian dolls, so bigger, smaller into the bigger, and then your characters is very close to and go inside. We have interiors for those big money.
Yeah, so they were talking about this being like your first little ship.
Dang, it's been that long?
Yeah. Ain't that crazy? 2017. So you had this little ship that you got into, and he was flying around in that ship, which could go into that ship.
I don't know, remove the comment. I can
the comment? Yeah. Yeah. I got it. There you go. They were flying around. They were showing like how the flight would work going around the world. So like the idea was there,
Then when he took off from the atmosphere and went up in there, and then yeah, like all that right there was like,
okay.
Where's the other ship? Where's the other ship?
It was back here. So where's he at? So that was like the big ship that he had.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. So he like came out.
Oh, okay. So that's
the
big joint, and that's the yeah.
Yeah. So he had the big ship coming out of the small ship, but you could have the small ship go back into the big ship and then fly with the big ship. So it was like a whole it was like a whole setup. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
all y'all got to do is just make this happen, right?
Yep.
That was 2017.
That's crazy.
Wow.
As of this year, 3 years from now, it will be 10 years old. Isn't that wild? 3 years from now, the game that we was excited about will be 10 years out that we have not seen.
Yep. I mean, there's a lot of games like that we got advertised, and it's like 10 years later.
But that's wild, though. Even whether it's the only one or not.
But this
like,
ain't a team, a nobody team. This is like a team that they should not have this problem.
right.
They just shouldn't.
And I think
I mean, hold on. Wait. We know their main majority of their money goes into what?
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft?
I'm saying, yeah. How much of their money goes into what?
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
I
Those
can't
kind of
answer
things.
that.
So I can answer it. Assassin's Creed. Think about the projects they just get like announced as far as what they're doing with the hub, that one Japanese one, the Mirage one. Well, we already got that, but all the stuff they advertised, it was like, well, dang. And then on top of that, they got that Star Wars one. And I feel like all of those assets right there, they had to pull from stuff. So Beyond Good and Evil got pulled.
Probably more than likely, especially when they let go of some of they. Because remember, they got rid of Michael Ansel and his team when all that stuff was going on.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that was responsible for like Child of Light and Rayman and all of that.
Yeah.
He helped write some of that stuff, some of that other stuff. I think he was responsible for Far Cry as well. So
I think too, because we're talking about, obviously, like, it's Ubisoft, right? But Ubisoft has their development teams and stuff like that. So I think too, when we talk about Assassin's Creed, I think a lot of that money does go into Assassin's Creed.
It goes into,
but I don't,
from what I see.
I don't know if you. So the one thing with business is when you start off a business physical year, normally you don't tell investors, okay, this is how much money that this development team is going to have, or this is what we're looking at, and this is what this has, this is what this has. And then later down the road, be like, okay, we didn't have enough money for this, so we're going to start pulling from y'all and giving to y'all because y'all not finishing the project. Like, that's what starts messing stuff up a lot more than it should. And not to say that it doesn't happen, because it absolutely does. And I think that's what happened with Skull and Bones. And I think it got to a point where Ubisoft was at the point where, like, okay,
we got to put something out.
Yeah, like we have to.
Too much money.
We put too much money into it, into the initial stages, for it to not become something else. So I can imagine if it's like that with just this game, with just Skull and Bones, which shouldn't be anywhere near the same cost. Is that the right word I'm using, Jay?
This should be the same. Because the problem is with situations like this, the problem is we're not privy to that information that the shareholder is going to get.
Yeah.
So they get the itemized breakdown. VG Charts ain't never going to get that. So we're not going to be able to look and see what the breakdown of it is. Because the problem, the way I see it now, is this is a problem with gaming as a whole, is there's too many suits and not enough gamers.
Yeah.
People that was in gaming like back before, like late 90s, early 2000s. I'll probably say, to be honest, probably back when Microsoft got in was when the suits got in. Because it was like, oh, this is a new avenue for us to make money.
Yeah.
And once they did, that's why when people got mad at CD Projekt Red for Cyberpunk, I'm like, y'all really can't get mad at them, because it wasn't their call. Because if it was their call, because if it was their call, it would have been PC only, and then they would have ported it to console.
Right.
if it was their call, but it wasn't their call. Now, did they have to take the brunt of it? Yeah, because you don't know what exec forced their hand.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I can promise you, it was an exec. It was somebody on their board. They're like, no, this game's coming out right now.
Yeah,
I don't care.
You're gonna drop that.
You're gonna drop it. I don't care. So that's the other thing. So and Triple M, you are absolutely correct. Ubisoft Vivendi was trying to do a hostile takeover of them for a couple years, and they had to fight that off. The other problem though with Ubisoft is they keep trying to do these games as a service, which they really need to stop.
And they don't know how to do it right, to be honest.
Well, they're at this point, nobody's infrastructure is set up to do this at a consistent level. So
yeah, Dark Void, you're right too. They do a lot of Far Cry games because that, from what I hear and understand, even the Avatar game is
Far Cry.
Yeah, it's set up as Far Cry.
You got an engine that works. You got an engine that works.
I thought you didn't get it yet, right?
Juice got it, Terminator Juice. So
yeah,
I listened to him talk about it, and I'm like, yep, that's Far Cry.
I mean, how does he like it though?
Oh, he said it's great. He said he loved it. He said visually it's very stunning. He highly recommends it, which I'm a Far Cry. I won't say a Far Cry fan, but I like Far Cry. So yeah, I would definitely buy it when it gets on sale. Yeah. So yeah, but we're gonna wrap it up for now because we're at 2 hours and 15 minutes. This was man, y'all been on point. Y'all been on point with the comments and everything. We really appreciate it.
Definitely carrying this episode.
Yeah, y'all.
I've been going half of the way. Sorry about that. I've been going half the way, but yeah, y'all definitely carrying this.
Yeah, y'all was cutting up, man. I really appreciate y'all. Before we get out of here, we want to say thank you to everybody. Yeah, thanks, Jay. Appreciate you. Jay Biggs, Triple M, Andre, thank you. My moderators, Dark Void, Brand Smith, Trinell, thank you. As Paz, I said Andre already. Nightwolf, as usual, coming through, holding us down. Squared came in for a second. Really appreciate you, FL. I see you. Yeah, just, man, y'all. It's so many comments in here. I'm like rushing through. RJ, of course. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. Amazing. Make sure you hit the like button too. Make sure you hit that like button. Helps us out. Before we get out of here though, Jay, what you got up for us?
Absolutely nothing.
This was it. This is it right here. This is it.
Yeah. Everybody, I have a good weekend. Rest of y'all weekend. I do have a couple of blog posts that should be up tomorrow and Monday. Gonna try. I went to go see Godzilla Kong New Empire. So I have a blog post up for that one. And I'm probably gonna try to get a blog post up for Sandland. I forgot Sandland dropped on Disney Plus. So the Sandland anime is actually on Disney Plus. All 8 episodes. So I'm gonna try to watch that and Shogun. I gotta get caught up on Shogun and watch that so I can do some blog posts and reviews for that. So that's about all I got. So
okay. Yeah. All right. Vito, what you got up for us?
Definitely go over to my channel and check out our live from yesterday. We had some nice discussions and stuff. There was a couple of things that we missed, but you know what I'm saying, we always try to keep the Beetleverse the same length as the Stormcast. So we'll probably get to it next time, but definitely check that out. Check out Nautical Yui. He's going to be absent for a minute as far as his gameplay, but as soon as he comes back from paternal leave, he'll be right back on his A game on his streaming or whatever like that. But other than that, happy Easter, happy Resurrection Sunday, whatever floats your boat, and that's it.
Okay. And then here, as usual, same time every week, 9:00, Stormcast. And of course, Vitoverse every other week. Like RJ said, go ahead and check out X-Men 97. We did talk about it on the Vitaverse yesterday. Also, I know Jay has a couple words to say about it as well. So make sure you stay in tune with him as well. But Sunday, of course, Happy Resurrection Sunday or Easter, whichever one you call it. Monday, we usually have a Jill podcast, not usually, every other, but we've been having one consistent, so I'm sure we'll have a Jill podcast come Monday. And make sure you follow all of our brothers and sister on the associated podcast, the Wingin IT Podcast. You know, Jay, of course. Jack, who has been doing our title screen for the last 3 weeks now. Andre, of course, who you guys see in the chat, keeping it live. Shadow, who is his name, shows up when he can, because he is the fox. He's also the genie. You also have to put in the right cheat code in order to get him on. And then Vicky as well, our neighborhood troll, who, like we always say, me and Vito, she's a bigger troll than I and him, and she don't even live in Michigan trolls. And
we forgot
BIPOC. Yes, BIPOC Streaming Awards. Make sure you guys go on Twitter. You can check any 3 of our Twitter pages to get onto the BIPOC, so you can vote.
Yeah, round one ends tomorrow.
Please vote and vote for your boy. You know what I'm saying? We trying. Vote for your boy. Matter of fact, vote Jay too. If you could get a sneak couple.
Definitely get Jay up there, man. Look. He is number 1 promoter, number 1 troller on X. I be seeing a lot of his posts, man. Look. There should be a category just specifically for him.
I do not troll. I just ask questions and bring up Reading Rainbow. Just because I brought up Reading Rainbow one time does not mean I'm trolling.
Yeah, go ahead and hit him as well. And then on the Jill podcast, Terminator Jews, make sure you follow him. Mr. T, Robert, Chanel, Retro Death, who's here sometimes on the channel. You can see him being funny every now and then. And our boy from on the other side of the pond as well, Retro, but also Clocked It. So make sure you guys subscribe to all of them. And once again, subscribe to Paz too, man. He's out here doing work. Make sure y'all subscribe to him and show him some love. So other than that, we're up out of here. We will have a podcast on next Saturday. I only have to bring this up, so people just don't throw a whole bunch of I'm sorry's, but I do have a funeral to go to on Saturday, but I should make it in time for us to still have the podcast at 9:00. All right. Thank you guys for coming through. We will see you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.